The courtroom was packed, the air thick with tension, but no one expected what was about to unfold. A hush fell over the room as two young twins, identical, their deep brown eyes burning with a mix of fear and determination, walked to the front. They weren't lawyers, they weren't witnesses on paper, but their voices were about to shatter years of silence. And when the white-haired judge sitting high on the bench leaned forward, trying to hide his unease, the truth he had buried long ago was about to be dragged back into the light. No one in that room knew that the twins standing there were not just defending their mother. They were about to confront the very man who had abandoned them before they could speak their first words. The twins, Maya and Malik, were only 14, but hardship had made them older than their years. Their mother, Denise, stood trembling at the defense table, accused of crimes she didn't commit, crimes whispered by neighbors and twisted into lies by those who looked down on her because of her skin, her poverty, and her strength as a single mother. For months she had fought, alone, trying to clear her name, but the weight of the system pressed heavily against her. Maya clenched her fists as she looked at her mother's tired face, while Malik stared coldly at the judge, not yet realizing why something about that man stirred a strange unease in him. They had grown up without a father, told only that he had walked away before they could even understand what family meant. Denise never spoke his name, never filled their ears with bitterness. Just silence, as if the man who left them didn't deserve a place in their story. But now, as fate would have it, the same man who had once chosen to forget them was sitting in robes, deciding their mother's future, their future. When the prosecutor finished his sharp speech, painting Denise as a reckless, unfit woman, Maya suddenly rose from her seat. The courtroom gasped. She wasn't supposed to speak, but her voice rang out, clear and unshaking, "That's not true. My mom isn't what you're saying. You don't know her like we do." Malik stood right beside her, shoulders squared. "If you'll hear lies in this courtroom, then you're going to hear the truth too." The judge adjusted his glasses, trying to mask the flicker of recognition in his eyes as he stared at them. The tilt of Maya's chin, the set of Malik's jaw, it was like looking into a mirror he had buried decades ago. His heart thudded, but he pushed it down. "Order in the court," he said, his voice firm. But inside, his world was crumbling. Maya's voice broke as she continued, "Our mom worked 3 jobs. She never complained, not even when she was too tired to stand. She gave us everything, even when she had nothing left. And now you want to say she's guilty of something she didn't do." She turned to Malik, and he spoke through clenched teeth, his words trembling with rage. "You don't know what it's like to grow up wondering why your father never came back. To ask your mom who he was, and watch her face go quiet. To think maybe he didn't want us because we weren't good enough." The courtroom had gone silent, every word sinking deep. Denise's tears streamed freely now, her hands shaking as she tried to hush her children, but the judge raised his hand, stopping her. He couldn't stop listening, because each word felt like a blade reopening an old wound. Malik stepped forward, eyes locked on the judge's face. "And you?" His voice caught, his throat tightening. Something inside him screamed that this man, this judge, wasn't just another stranger. His skin prickled, his chest heavy, as though his body remembered something his mind couldn't. "You look at us like you've seen us before. Why? Why does it feel like you already know who we are?" The judge swallowed hard. His hands trembled beneath the desk, hidden from sight. He wanted to slam the gavel, to silence the boy. But his voice betrayed him, soft and unsteady. "That's enough," he said. But no one could miss the way his eyes glistened. Denise couldn't hold it anymore. She buried her face in her hands. whispering under her breath, "Not like this. Please, not like this." Maya turned sharply to her mother. "What aren't you telling us?" Her voice cracked, her whole body shaking. Malik placed a hand on her shoulder, but his own knees felt weak. The judge's chest heaved as years of silence pressed against him like chains. For so long, he had walked away, choosing his career, his reputation, and his fear over the woman who once loved him and the children he had never dared to meet. And now, here they were, standing in front of him, demanding justice for the very woman he had abandoned. The prosecutor, impatient, tried to intervene. "Your Honor, this is irrelevant. These children are not witnesses." But the judge's hand slammed the gavel, his voice breaking for the first time. "Enough." He leaned forward, his face pale, his eyes wet. He could no longer pretend. Not when the truth stood before him, alive and undeniable. Maya and Malik waited, their hearts pounding, as silence filled the courtroom. The judge opened his mouth, his voice raw, his mask finally torn away. "I am your father." The room erupted in gasps, whispers, disbelief. Denise wept openly, unable to meet his gaze. Maya's eyes widened, her whole body shaking as she tried to process the words. Malik's fists clenched, rage and betrayal flashing through his veins. The man they had hated in silence. The ghost they had grown up searching for, the stranger who left them, was the one holding the gavel. The man deciding whether their mother would walk free or spend years behind bars. Everything hung in the air, fragile, unbearable, as the truth settled like thunder. And in that moment, the twins realized this trial wasn't just about their mother anymore. It was about a father facing the children he abandoned, and the children demanding the justice of a lifetime.